Hey guys, Cat Demon 43 am back with the letter. This might sound actually a little bit different because I had to switch my headset back to my old one because it was just getting kind of annoying with the amount of echo that you kept hearing and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Screw it. This is getting ridiculous. I'm just gonna switch back to the one that I got before. And I mean, this one always had good sound quality. It was just having it rest on my head for too long was always the problem. But I'm gonna deal with it and all that stuff. And we're just gonna jump right back into this. There are two other games that I wanted to play later on when I beat this. Or heck, I might do it in between this while I finish up getting the last parts out, which is Shard Light and Faust's Alpatarium. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but anyway, Shard Light is those both are indie games and they look really neat and I want to check them out. So I got those. I also bought myself some other games, but some on that are on sale, but I won't really be able to play some of them until I get my gaming tower, which I mentioned before. I do have the money for it. I'm just now trying to do research on what game to get. Gaming tower I should get. But it's like buying a car. Is basically what it is. But you can't. I mean, I'm looking on reviews and whatnot, so I'm trying now to, whenever I get the chance, to go into stores and find out. But I haven't had the chance to do that recently because I've been, one, trying to get back into school because I want to get into programming for computers, yay. And the other is that I have been helping a friend move, mainly just with packing and stuff since I don't have a license. But yeah, anyway, enough of my chitter chatter. Let's get back into this. And like I mentioned before, I'll just skip all the stuff I've seen and just get right to all the new things.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just, you know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then. Monday for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this,
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we?
So creepy.
In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Shadow, I don't see shit.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
You heard her, love. She's busy.
What a shame. You never let me do anything fun.
You can head back to the car first if you want, Luke. I hope that settles everything, Rose. I don't know what Isabel's problem is, but please make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
Mama? Not your mom, Isabella.
I still love that. It's so cute. My hand stops dead for a moment. Yeah, okay, I've read this, but I still like this audio stuff that they do here. Yeah, hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay. Seen all this. Okay, let's see how this goes.
Parfait is just ice cream, sweetheart. It'll melt no matter how dainty it appears. In the end, it'll all look like an ugly puddle.
He's not wrong.
Now, come on, just pick one. It could even be the most expensive one on that list. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Oh, what I would give for someone to buy you off my hands right now.
I know that's like the same dialogue, at least I think it is, but the tone he's using now is like totally different. You can tell. It's really, I'm glad they didn't just, at least I think, I might have to go back and check, but at least that's what it feels like. It's like he's using a different tone, or maybe I'm just thinking that because this is so different. This is like a different Luke. It's weird. Yep, okay, hit him with the book. Love that.
Mister, you have until the count of 5 to let me go and step out of my personal space.
A fair warning. Fairer than any I can offer to people of his kind, and I'm already being considerate. Hell, this arsehole doesn't even deserve a warning. If he doesn't listen, well, he's as much responsible for what will happen next as anyone.
Or else what? Such vulgar words coming out of that pretty mouth. A gorgeous flower like you shouldn't even be saying.
Don't say I didn't warn you, Bowbag.
Love that intensity, Daisy. FYI, I like feisty in a woman. It gives them this certain charm. Why don't you?
5.
A second of silence. Then, without any permeable, my leg moves in one fluid motion and delivers a swift, powerful, well-placed kick to his nether regions. Needless to say, the effect is instantaneous. He yelps, abruptly drops his hold on me, and kneels over, howling from the pain. I can see tears forming at the corners of his eyes, too, though the mere sight of it prompts not an ounce of remorse from me. I would have been gentler if he isn't such a dirty little prick with an ego too big for his head. Too bad. Whether this obliterates any chance of him ever procreating remains to be known, but a part of me is already praying he doesn't ever breed after this. We have no need of more of him in this world.
You mad woman!
I warned you, you ass!
Why, this is harassment, I'm telling you! Harassment!
Then why don't you tell that to the police once they get here,
You despicable! Whatever you're assuming I am, I'll have you know it's all in your head. None of it's true. You best have that pretty brain of yours checked before that gets worse. What is wrong with you? Is this the face of someone who'd do anything suspicious?
In this playthrough, yes.
And even my wife of all people in this bloody city, has never, I'm telling you, accused me of such a scandalous thing! You crazy woman!
Love the voice actor.
Did you know she's really good at numbers?
You're good with them too. You helped me with my homework once.
Well, Tia's much better than me. She used to do maths with big numbers.
Oh, like millions?
No, gazillions. And she's really good at it. So much so that her dad let her manage anything that had to do with it. That was even before she met me, too.
Does that mean she's better than you?
Oh, leagues, Munchkin.
It's weird. It's weird. I know he's being a dick in this version, and yeah, but it's like he still cares about her in some regard, which is good, but at the same time, it hurts because considering what happened in her and in this one, and it's just not good. Yeah. Kind of so you wonder how it goes if I went with Ash instead, so. Sorry, Luke. Oh, so many more choices here. Holy shit. Though, when you look at it closely, it isn't such a difficult decision to make. First and foremost, no matter where I look at this, it is inappropriate to some degree. Disregarding Luke's honest intentions, I have only known the man for a grand total of 2 days, including today. If I'm not going to be thoroughly specific, I'll give it a grand total around 10 hours. By all means, that's not enough reason for me to join them for dinner, even if he says Kylie's the one who requested it. To other people, it won't appear as innocent as he makes it out to be, and there's one ugly thing about this city. It's that place's penchant for insane gossip. Inane gossip. Not insane. Blech. One little spark, it'll spread like wildfire. Who knows how far it'll go, how many ears it'll reach. What if Ashton hears about it? I'd rather not think about the consequence to that. I've got enough on my plate lately as it is. Being at the center of a rumor mill, along with this man, in whatever form it takes, sends unpleasant chills down my spine. My answer must have already shown on my face as Kylie's smile immediately dissolves into a pout.
You're not gonna join us, are you?
Yeah, maybe next time. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Kylie. I'd love to, but I have other things to do. Another time, maybe? A friend just texted me about something urgent, and he wants to meet tonight.
Just say it's a date, Daisy. The little rugrat will understand. She's not an infant. No need for blatant lies.
Heat instantly curls up my face as his baseless insinuations. What I would give for another chance to put a real dent on his skull.
What even gave you that idea? And even if it is, why do you care? Stop sticking your nose in other people's affairs.
Oh, your face says it all, woman. You think I won't recognize those longing looks?
There isn't a look, There isn't a look, all right?
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, Daisy.
You already have a story written inside that head of yours, don't you?
Oh, please. It's not that interesting. The color of your face does suit you, though. Matches the hair. Well, come on now, Munchkin. I'll just buy you an extra glass of that parfait.
With extra strawberries?
Instant okay. Oh my god.
I'll get you a basket full if you want. As long as you behave. And no complaints if they don't have enough syrup again. Deal?
Deal. Have fun with your date, Miss Pink.
Luke's already leading the child away before I can correct her. Upon reaching the end of the hall, however, he doesn't miss the chance to shoot me another one of those infuriating winks. God damn it. Does he really think women enjoy those? I'd sue him for harassment if I can. Though I must admit, the two of them walking together hand in hand is an endearing sight in itself. He says he dislikes the idea of having children of his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him? It's something to mull over, along with every other confusing and frustrating thing about this guy. Some other time, though. Ashton's waiting. Okay. His car headlights have been left turned on. That doesn't make sense. Illuminating the otherwise empty parking lot. If it's like that, it is probably going to be a very quick visit. Although our landlady would probably have a few hundred words to say about this before letting it go. Not many in this complex own a vehicle anyway, to warrant the space's frequent use, owning to this area's proximity to downtown Luxbourne. No one is going to be disturbed. One car stays parked with its lights on for a few minutes. Right now, though, it serves as a pleasant company while I idle inside my own car, thumbing the invitation's fine print, flipping it over and over until the motions become familiar enough. What should I say? How should I say it? There's a very high chance he'll say no, but on the off chance he accepts, what should I do? Fears. Doubts. Questions I haven't asked before, and more often than not, the anxiety is because of him. 17 years ago, I'd been in the same position, a different letter in hand. Somehow nothing has changed. Perhaps if he noticed how I've always felt about him years ago, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Honestly, he managed to ace all those exams at school without even lifting a finger, and he couldn't figure this out.
How dense can he get?
Very. But I can't very well wait for another 2 decades just for something as measly as an invitation, can I? It's not like it's going to be a date. Although, frankly, I wouldn't mind if it is. However, that's a wish best reserved for some other time. I won't get anywhere if I just keep thinking about the what-ifs. Gathering all of my thoughts and courage, I step out of the car and gingerly make my way upstairs, invitation in hand. Ever since the incident 3 days ago, there's a strange air permeating the atmosphere here. Waited, but the sort that slowly trickles through you until the burden of it finally bogs you down with some kind of disquiet. The days since have been uneasy, and Isabella's absence from her flat does not help settle it. Every day coming home somewhat feels like an uphill battle in itself, leaving you spent when you're supposed to be getting some rest. Is Zachary experiencing the same thing? I certainly am. The same weary slump is along on Ashton's shoulders once I catch a glimpse of him. He's leaning casually on the rails, his back against its metal surface, while reading through a bunch of papers. Oh, this is different. Each one appears more important than the other, despite me having never read a letter of it. Forensic report, case number 3368. Okay. He'll probably head back to the precinct after this, if he's not going to drop by Zachary's for a bit of shut-eye. Why doesn't he go home and sleep? No rest for the wicked. But no matter how occupied he seems, he pauses anyway and looks up from his work the moment he hears my treads. He raises a hand in greeting. A small smile spreads across his lips. Exhausted as I am, I can't help but return it to him.
What brought you here?
He hums something inaudible, neither an answer nor even a vague hint, before he turns his attention back to the papers. For a passing second, I thought he'd ignore or evade the question, like every single time I've asked. But then, he shuffles the documents back to a binder and sets it aside with a huff, its sound more fatigued than I ever heard from him recently. Either there's simply too many things keeping him busy at once, or his investigation isn't going too well. Maybe even both.
Just work.
Just work? Do you expect me to believe that?
In a way. I didn't think an important contact ditched me and now I'm stuck would make for a cool alibi.
Yeah.
Did it work?
As if there's going to be any difference. You're still a dafty. Anyway, do you want to come in? But if you're going to hang around for a bit, you better turn those headlights off. My landlady's one hairline away from banning you off this place, you know? Stop taking the piss out of her. She's a nice woman.
When she stops taking the piss out of Shirley, maybe I will.
You and your bloody car.
First time I've heard of the name, I did a double take. From the way he put it, it was as if he was talking about some woman he met somewhere, surprisingly got along with, and grown fond of. Never mind how impossible that is, knowing his lack of interest of people outside our small circle. Honestly, it sent a surge of panic in me. It lasted for days, oh God, until he proudly introduced me to his new car. His car!
Hey, it's a nice name. Don't laugh at it. You'll hurt her feelings. I'm gonna have to give that offer a pass, though.
Nothing unexpected, but admittedly, I'm hoping he'll stay for a few minutes. Suddenly, asking him to accompany me to some housewarming party is starting to turn into a bad idea. If he can't even be bothered to spare a second of his time to his friends, what more if he has to stand some hours in a room full of strangers?
I need to get going. I just dropped in to check on something and...
His words trail off, cut mid-sentence on purpose, leaving it for me to comprehend the rest of it. At the same time, his eyes shift, momentarily, towards the door closest to us, Isabella's unit. Eerily quiet now, in her absence. The instant his lips curve into a small frown and his shoulders tense, I know work is far from his reasons for being here. Being all too aware that the idea alone summons another dull ache straight into my chest. Like every time, every single moment, he offers her the attention he can never seem to spare others. While it is a worry better left for a different situation, it twinges the heart nevertheless.
Is there a problem?
Nothing of note. Abigail just wanted to ask her a few things. It's related to that incident with Cooper. You heard the one.
Hold on. She isn't in trouble, is she?
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. And do you really think Scaredy Cat can do anything like that? It's just an off-the-record thing, okay? Abigail wanted to confirm something. She knows I'm friends with someone working at BRC, so she asked me. Apparently she isn't getting anything from that company, as long as the red tape's in the way. It's nothing urgent, though. She isn't answering her phone again, so I thought I'd check myself. I can wait until she gets home.
If she comes home soon. The last time I saw her was 2 nights ago.
His demeanor immediately changes. Despite his careful attempt to appear nonchalant, his eyes scream of an unspoken worry. It's almost painful to see how much he tries to hide it, especially in front of someone he has known for years.
What? Did she take a vacation or something?
No word from her, unfortunately. And I don't think she'll go on a trip without telling us. It's been 2 days. 3 if she's not going to show up tomorrow either. Do you think we might have to file a missing person report?
I hope not. Even Zach's not acting like himself already. I wonder what that guy ate. But let me know if anything happens. You know how to contact me. I'll see you later, Becca.
Ashton squeezes my shoulder, light as he can, before stepping away and heading straight for the stairs. His way of offering comfort in the middle of this little mess we found ourselves in. But amidst all of this, a tiny voice at the back of my mind nudges at a memory. Something I've forgotten, and the very reason why I've chosen to return home early. He made it 4 steps down when my realization kicks in and awareness of the envelope I've been holding returns to me. Panic rears before proper words can form, or I can think about the situation. Not a second sooner, I'm calling after him.
Ashton, wait!
He halts, 1 foot already down another step, when he turns to me, raising an eyebrow in question.
Yeah?
And of all times, it is in this moment wherein I falter. The adrenaline from earlier's panic suddenly recedes. All of a sudden, none of the things I'm prepared to say will make form, and I'm caught between simply forgetting about this or just blurting it out to him while hoping for the best. Should I even? There's nothing wrong with trying, I suppose. I'm not going to lose anything if he says no. Which, frankly, is a very high chance of happening that the opposite. Though the thought still doesn't prevent heat from crawling up my face and send my heart racing. It's better to get this over with before my throat closes up and I lose my nerve.
Tomorrow afternoon. Do you have time?
Aw, 1 step closer. That's cute. A small frown is already on his face. I already see where this is going and what he's thinking from that alone. Yet, from some mulish reason, I continue, hanging on to the tiny glimmer of hope he'll say yes if I present an argument good enough for him.
That depends. Why?
Well, you see, someone sent an invite for a housewarming party, and I thought you might want to...
Rebecca, I'd rather stand on the messy end of a gunshot. You know that.
I know, it's just... You're one of the few people I can count on with things like this.
That's cool. I appreciate the thought. But really, Zach's a better companion. Gatherings like that just aren't my cup of tea.
It did cross my mind, you know. If he isn't busy with his freelance work, I'd probably ask him too.
Why does Zach constantly get friend-zoned? I mean, seriously, come on.
Actually, you two would have been spared if Isabella was here, but
why not just skip out on it? The world's not going to end if one guest doesn't show up.
Trust me, I'd love to. But I promised Mom I'll be there.
Still can't say no, huh?
Like you're any better. Besides, the person who sent this is an old friend of Mom and Dad. If it's important to them, why not? Though, who would have thought, huh? The famous Evans heir used to be tutored by my parents. Apparently, we also met before.
Wait, who?
Evans. Hannah Evans. Well, she's already married. She goes by Hannah Wright now. Remember the couple who bought the mansion Isabella's selling?
Yeah, I like the fact you can get more information this way, too. This is really good.
The same people?
Yep.
As far as I know. Unless I misread their address, or there's another Hannah Wright in this city that we don't know about.
Let me see that.
Without waiting, he walks closer and takes the invitation off my hands, gently, but with the same force of urgency in his voice. I don't know what he finds in it, but his eyebrows draw together as his eyes scan through the little lines of text printed on the small piece of paper. His hold on the envelope tightens with each pass, and by the time he finishes reading, his mouth is formed into a thin line.
You never mentioned this.
We met just once. Or at least, that's what Mum told me. Honestly, I can't recall anything from it. Otherwise, I would have told you about it.
He hums something inaudible under his breath, all the while thumbing the paper, staring at it, as if doing so will proffer him answers to every unspoken question in his head. When he gleans nothing from it, he merely folds the envelope back into its form.
All right. I'll go with you.
What?
I'll go with you. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless you've already made up your mind about asking Z-Man.
No, I told you already the guy's busy. Why would I bother him for this when I can go alone? But what about your own work and...
I can make time for this. 3 o'clock, yeah? I'll pick you up an hour or so before.
My head reels, less from what this implies, more from how easy all this seems for him, how fast this turnaround is. And new journal entry. Yeah. Yeah, still love that. Clocking them good. Okay, that's the same. Luke and Kylie asked Rebecca out for dinner as she was about to leave, but the latter chose to meet with Ashton instead. At Samwell. Yeah, I can't read. After a brief talk with Ashton about Isabella, Rebecca invited him to the housewarming party. Despite his qualms, Ashton agreed in the end. He's already halfway down the stairs when any semblance of sense returns to me, and I can finally string 2 words of protest together. Yet all of it dies on my tongue at the small smile he shoots me. He disappears from view seconds later. His footsteps gradually fade as he descends the stairwell until I can hear are my own shallow breaths and heartbeat, loud pounding hard against my chest. It is only after I'm standing alone in my room, minutes later, that it sinks in. He has taken the invitation with him, but besides that, more than that, he has also accepted mine. Calling this happiness is a complete understatement. For now, looming thoughts of the mansion and that woman lay silent at the back of my head.
Last night, you mentioned Zach hasn't been acting like himself. Maybe you should ask him, too.
Or maybe you're all just feeling under the weather.
I'm not sick. Don't you think I'd know that by now?
Becca, you're starting to sound like Scaredy Cat. Give me a break.
Why don't you?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you two.
Isabella's voice cut sharply through the conversation, abruptly putting an end to the brewing argument.
It's all my fault. This is all my fault. I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you. I'm sorry for dragging you all into this.
She breathed in, deep, steady, and at that moment something falls behind her eyes as she looks away.
I'll fix this. I promise.
A quiet resolve. Same one I saw from that night before 3 days ago. But this time it burns brighter. Even Ashton wavers at its sight. When she looks at him straight in the eyes, gaze unflinching, gradually his grip on her wrist loosens.
Belle, there's nothing to fix. The problem is...
Just this once, Ash.
Her voice, though small, lacking any force, stops him. Although with it, every sound, every noise dies around us, a hush descending, as if the world is waiting for her words.
You don't have to come with me. But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
She lays a hand atop his. Gentle, pleading, almost intimate, if one does not consider the circumstances we found ourselves in.
Please.
Ashton will never tell a soul, will never admit even to himself, but it is the short second that his own resolve breaks. The moment the hard edge in his eyes softens as he relinquishes his hold on her, letting his hand fall limply to his side. Wordlessly, Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving only a muttered thanks and a small, lackluster smile. Only after the last of her footsteps fade away does Ashton move. Breaking the silence with one of his sharp exhales before reaching up and pinching the bridge of his nose in a gesture of frustration and surrender.
Did you really have to tell her that?
What do you want to hear from me then? That everything's fine?
No, I want all of you to stop putting these ideas in her head. None of it is helping. Never mind. Don't worry about her. I'll bring her back here.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
Those guys know what they're doing. Their handling car's worth more than your precious Shirley.
My disdain has likely shown beyond the tone of my voice, quite possibly in the form of a grimace. He chuckles. A rare moment with mirth and amusement danced across his features. Try as I might to pull up a stern glare, I can't help but join him instead. There's something in the lightness of it, and how easy this kind of interaction falls into place when we don't let feelings get too involved, in spite of being stuck in a situation we're not fond of. It brings back memories. However, the moment doesn't hold. All of a sudden, Ashton grows quiet.
Chief?
An odd expression flashes momentarily across his face, though he blinks it away before I can figure out what it was exactly.
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
Doesn't help that he isn't even making an effort to spare a glance my way when he answers. Instead, they're focused on at some point in the crowd. His gaze darting between people walking past us till a small frown forms in his face.
Oh, wait, Ash! What about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
I meet the smile, he hastily throws my way with a frown of my own. What does he mean by that? Before I can ask already, he has turned his back from me and is walking away, without a single explanation whatsoever. In some desperate effort, I try to catch up with him, if only to know what warranted this sudden departure and his odd warning at the end.
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
Only for my attempts to be interrupted by muffled ringing from my pocket. Mom's cheerful voice greets me as soon as I answer.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom.
Okay. But when the call ends, I get to look up. Ashton's already heading inside. With a sigh, and admittedly a little disappointment, I tuck my mobile back into my pocket and follow after him.
So much for date.
Yeah. Even with familiar company, this is somehow shaping up to be a terrible evening. Yeah. If I don't know any better, I'd say he only agreed to come with me for another reason.
I swear, the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Ashton can go fuck himself.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Yep, okay, shit. It's going down.
I am pregnant.
with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Okay, here we go. The commotion doesn't go further. Despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty of more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, escorting her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife, too. As if the whole thing can't get any more fucked up than it already is. What a mess. But the damage has been done, and beyond the repercussions this will bring, I'm more worried about Hana. Maybe Luke, too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance, and it is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him, no matter how questionable that is now. Though sometimes mere affections aren't enough.
And I've had enough of you!
Yep.
So guess what? Fuck you, Luke!
Where are the words? Where'd the words go? Oh, there we go.
We agreed to never talk of this woman!
Did we? I don't remember.
I don't know how long this has been going on. I don't know either of them well to judge for myself. I'm simply an outsider who happens to have some kind of connection with both of them.
Face it, Lucille Mitchell-Wright. You owe me everything.
I owe you everything. I owe you everything? Who's running the business now while you sit at home like a pretty princess?
If I recall, you told me to retire so that I can enjoy my time as Mrs. Luke Wright.
Ooh, awkward.
I wouldn't even bother with other women if you were still Hannah Evans! You used to be your own woman! You used to be someone who I could fucking look up to! Now look at you! If I wanted some brainless bint, I'd go to the whorehouse and play any old strumpet like a fucking fiddle. That's all you are now. A brainless, good-for-nothing.
But the second Hana raises her hand, I know it's far too late to save an already crumbling relationship. Long before her palm connects with his cheek. Oh boy. The sound of it echoes throughout the whole ballroom, loud enough to silence everyone. The quiet does not persist, however, and in an instant, Luke orders every guest out.
That's it! This party is over! Everybody leave before I have you all thrown out!
There's shuffling, a minute of reluctance from every head in the room. But in the end, his anger forces everyone to comply. Chatter explodes throughout the whole foyer, once the door has been promptly shut. Worried murmurs, clicking of tongues, and inappropriate gossip filters through the thick tension in the room. I couldn't care less about any of it. Besides, it's pretty obvious what the topic is. Most of them haven't even left the premise, and they're already talking about it. Tomorrow it'll be in the news for sure, in every local broadsheet and tabloid in Luxbourne. Simply thinking about it already gives me a headache. When the shock has faded, I just feel bone-tired. I've accomplished nothing of what I've come here for, and Ashton's nowhere to be found. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening, and might have just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously have some other motive for being here. Can't he at least trust his own friends for that?
He didn't have to lie to me.
Yeah, that's true, he didn't. The only relief to be had in this, perhaps, is Zachary's comforting smile when he approaches. He appears as disturbed when he stands beside me, fiddling with the buttons of his camera, even though the device is off.
Eventful night, huh?
Yeah.
You can say that again. It was awful.
He pauses for a moment, stares at me intently. Then he laughs, a tired one but filled with humor, in spite of what we've witnessed.
Let me guess. Ashton?
Yep.
Oh, what makes you think he's my problem?
Just a hunch. And, it's all in your face, actually.
Why does he have to? I don't understand that man anymore.
Like I always say, you should just...
Oh, you can bet your ass we're going to have a very long talk. I'm not letting him off easy this time.
I'm sure he has a good reason. He won't say it, but he likes being around us. Heck, we're probably the only people he likes. He ain't gonna ruin that for something stupid. He can be dense, but he ain't dumb.
But that's exactly what I'm telling people, isn't it?
We'll see about that. Let's just go. Are you done here?
Yeah, no use staying when...
Oh, shit. Okay, this is new. Just then, the door of the ballroom slams open, and a very irate? Whatever. An angry Luke marches out into the foyer. By now, most of the guests have trickled out of the mansion, leaving only a few loitering around the room. With his fury still at its peak boiling point, it's only natural he'll zero on the most tallest person without his temper or his blast radius. Although he's not really making an effort not to let the remaining people of the hall hear his tirade.
Well, well, still here, I see. Having a grand time, aren't we?
We're actually about to leave.
Every bloody goss in this fucking city has something to talk about tomorrow. Great news day, isn't it? I wonder what the headlines will be. Cheating husband lashes out at poor wife.
I ain't a part of the media, sir. Miss Wright only hired me for the photos, nothing more.
Oh, the photos, of fucking course. How could I forget? Darling wifey needs a bloody souvenir, doesn't she? Something to remind her of how she humiliated her asshole of a husband.
This is so awkward.
I'm sure it ain't like that, sir. Ahana's no one expected.
Hand it over.
I'm sorry, what?
Are you also deaf? Do I always have to spell everything out to you peasants? Hand the blasted thing over!
He wants the camera. Just give him
all of you!
Jesus Christ.
If I see one picture, even a single shot of a fucking spoon tomorrow, you will all lose more than your jobs.
Jesus.
Now give me the bloody camera!
I can't do that, sir. I do freelance work, and this is my...
Do I look like I give a shite? Give it to me, or...
I wonder what Kylie will say if she sees Tio Luke right now.
Gmail unlocked justice for Zach. Yes! For a short second, he looks surprised to find me there. To be honest, I don't realize I've spoken either, until he turns a livid glare on me. A lesser person will probably cower under it. I will too, perhaps, in another situation, when he isn't throwing insults at my friend. Yes, protect Zach. The lovable guy needs to be protected. He is a cinnamon roll. That one I simply can't let go of.
Oh, Daisy, oh, Daisy. Do you always have to butt in on other people's discussions?
I wouldn't have to if there was actually one happening right now. It's pretty one-sided, eh? A bit offensive, too, if you ask me.
Woman, why don't you just bugger off? No one cares what your opinion is, especially in my home.
You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Luke Wright. I don't have any plans of staying longer. I'm only here to fetch my friend. I wasn't expecting to see an asshole standing beside him, though.
Rebecca, you really don't have to.
No.
Oh, no, you shut your trap. Let her say what she wants. I'd love to hear it. That feisty attitude is going to take you places, Daisy.
Good.
Fair warning, though, woman, and I've said this plenty of times.
There's a pause as he steps closer, staring down at me with almost little to no effort. I do my best to hold it, but I won't deny flinching at the tone he takes once he lets loose the next words from his mouth. Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Threats do not work on me.
Oh, okay, it's just what I said before. It's like, yeah, we know, dude. Then and there, I believe him. That this man is capable of doing so much more than what any intimidating remark I can lob at him.
So if you don't have anything worth my while to say, it'd be in your best interests if you remove you and your precious friend from my property. Now, before I get the security to drag you out.
Another person takes that decision out of my hands.
Come on, Becca. He ain't worth your time.
Without wasting time, Zachary pulls me away from him. By the time I've regained my senses, he's already tugging me by the wrist towards the wide-open doors. The stubborn part in me, however, the part who has seen the kind of person he is when he's with Kylie, refuses to withdraw without flinging in one last retort.
And here I thought you were a halfway decent guy. Whatever happened to the person his goddaughter looks up to?
He was never there, Daisy.
That just hurts. That makes me sad. Oh, that makes me sad. I don't like this.
That man died a long time ago. You're better off not looking for him.
That makes me really sad. I won't. I have no intention to, but I can't resist the urge to glance back before I leave. If only to have one last look at the man he really is. Perhaps I should be thankful this brief acquaintance isn't going anywhere. But the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it. Ah, yeah, that again. Okay. Looming, hovering, over his shoulders, drawing to him like a moth to a flame. Yeah, I would have kind of liked it if they did an alternate version of this with him rather than looking kind of smug. I mean, he looks grumpy, but still smug, but if they had him, like angry, like, just his facial feature, they changed it. I know it's dumb, and I'm probably asking too much, but that would have been kind of a nice, subtle thing to do as well, with all these different options, where in certain images, just like a facial feature is changed, or an expression, or something like that. That would have been kind of neat to see. Like the first time I've stepped inside this place in search of Isabella. He was there too, wasn't he? That man, along with his wife and another person, Miss McCullough. In that shadow. No, a woman now. Her, no longer a dark blur. Terror rushes through every vein in my body. A crippling sensation, gripping every part of me while she stares at me with a glare filled with nothing but hate and venom. It's like staring at the eyes of a woman I've unknowingly robbed of something precious. I tried to say something. A warning. But Zachary's already leading me out of the foyer, oblivious. Before I can gather my wits and voice it out, someone shuts the door behind us. As if to keep outsiders away from the secrets this mansion possesses. A fuming Luke Wright was seen storming out of the ballroom after his spat with his wife. Thinking Zachary was part of the media, Luke demanded that he surrender his camera. Rebecca defended her friend, but before leaving the estate she caught a glimpse of a shadow standing behind Luke.
Rebecca? You okay? You ain't looking too good. You're shaking.
Hastily I retract my hands from his hold, crossing my arms across my chest instead, in some lame attempt to keep the smallest of movements down. The cold of the tips of my fingers seeps through the thick material of my shirt, regardless. Neither of it helps bring together some semblance of coherent thought in my head.
Don't worry about it. I'm good. Zachary, did you see anything back there?
Oh, that what happened in the ballroom? Or...
No, not that. In the foyer, right behind... Never mind. You go ahead of me. Someone has to warn him. I'll just catch a cab on my own.
Warn him of what? Wait, Rebecca, did you forget something in there? I can...
I turn away and walk before he can stop me with a word of protest. It's not wise. Coming back, that is, especially after what happened. But Hannah's still an old friend, and Luke's neither a friend or an enemy, just an acquaintance who doesn't deserve whatever misfortune that letter might bring. I can't just leave those two in there. Isabella's right. She's real. And there's something she wants from everyone who has read that.
What took you so long? Let's go. I'll get the both of you back to the city.
My mistake. The second his voice cuts through the crisp night air, is that I've allowed my annoyance to get the better of me. Fuming, with my purpose forgotten, I whirled around and marched towards him. One accusation and another piles up at the tip of my tongue, ready to hurl at any moment. There's no hesitation holding back when I fling it at him. The straight face he keeps as I do so doesn't temper my anger either. It only makes me want to slap more sense into him.
Shouldn't we be the one asking you that?
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time since that mess in the hall. I told you I hate parties like...
And before that, where have you been the entire evening?
Right then and there I might have forgiven him, if he'd shown some ounce of remorse for leaving me like that. Maybe he could have looked away, given me a sign that my assumptions might be right. He doesn't even need to put them into words. A single gesture of confirmation is all I need. Rather, what I get is the same impassive look. He does that whenever he can't disclose anything. He does that whenever he's lying. In the face of it, amidst the thick tension, a frustrated huff is the only thing I can summon.
Be that way. Fine. Suit yourself. But don't you dare think this will be the end of this. We'll talk about this tomorrow, and you better have a proper answer for me by then.
No more words. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. So without speaking any further, I simply stomp over to his car and climb inside, slamming the door behind me with as much force my anger can show. They both follow after, and shortly we're on our way back to the city. Yet even with the city bright lights welcoming us, the dense, somber air from the mansion still lingers. The moon is almost at its highest by the time we reach Salemwell. There we go. Zachary is asked to be dropped off first the moment we've entered downtown Luxbourne. Though he never mentions anything, and he has only words of thanks for us, he probably doesn't want to get caught in another spat between Ashton and I. It's all too clear on his face, the poor man. I'll have to apologize for subjecting him to that some other time. I think he's also hoping we'll be able to fix this without him around. Oh, how wrong he is. Even after our respective heads have cooled off, the atmosphere within the car remains rife with unspoken tension. This isn't a problem so easily fixed with a few handshakes. Quite frankly, I don't know what will. Ashton himself has no idea what to do when he alights and dawdles awkwardly in the middle of the car park, unsure. It almost seems like he's having an internal debate whether he should say goodbye or mutter another apology. I could have driven him away, purely out of spite, the second I've gotten off. Still, old habits die hard. It's late, and Ashton's flat is on the other side of the city. Irritation might still rear its head every time I look at him right now, but I'm not too cruel to put him up for another long drive, especially when he still appears as if he hasn't gotten any rest.
You can borrow the couch.
I throw the keys of my flat his way before a protest forms on his lips. Although he catches it with ease, he eyes it with a wary expression and shoots a puzzled glance my way.
You haven't been forgiven. We're still going to have that talk, believe me. But I'm not about to send you out on another drive looking like that. It's late. Go get some rest.
We're sitting aside a lot of loose ends like this, but he appears to have accepted that reason, at least in the meantime. He does give me another questioning glance when I shove past him, pulling my mobile in the process.
Where are you going? I thought...
You go ahead upstairs. I need to contact Professor Andrew.
Andrew? Why would you... Oh, no. Please. Is this that thing Isabella said this morning? Again? I already gave her my word, Becca. I'll look into this BRC crap. No need to drag the old guy into it.
Of course he's still skeptical. It makes one wonder if he's seen anything at all. Figures this curse will stay away from the scoffer. But this is another loose end tonight that can't just leave alone, Ashton's belief notwithstanding. It just so happens that it's one I can delve into using my means, other than taking a look at the mansion itself.
Ashton, do you really think I still give a shite after that stunt you pulled tonight?
No, but this is...
I've spent so many years with him to know that this is about to turn into another argument. Before I can finish it, I cut him off with a firm raise of my hand.
Look, I don't care. There are weird things happening around here. And yes, it's Isabella's brand of weird. Ghostly voices, strange sounds, and a bloody woman sitting at the back of my car. You don't have to believe me. And I no longer have the patience to convince you, so just leave me be, Ashton.
He doesn't push it, growing quiet instead, although I know he has a whole case of it prepared inside his head. But there's a reluctant shift in his movement when he steps away from our conversation. Short of climbing the stairs, he stops, turns to face me with an expression almost too conflicted.
Are you really sure?
What?
That there was something? That you've been, seeing things?
Yes, I'm very, very certain. Now go, and you better not break anything in there. The last time I let you stay over, it was that statuette Belle gave me. You haven't even replaced that one.
The last of my reprimand goes both unheard and unanswered as he disappears behind the stairs. If things aren't as strained, he might have a quip or two about that, followed by a light banter. Instead, for a long moment, I am left staring after him. There's something in the way he asked it that nags, coupled with his expression. The whole exchange just feels unsettling. One that doesn't fade even as I gather my thoughts and shift my focus on another, even as I dial Professor Andrews' number. And that's when it clicks. I wait for the professor. One stray thought emerges from the unease. Ashton has not intended for his question to be a jib. It's concern. For what, though? For my well-being? The letter's curse? The woman I mentioned? The answers of those will have to wait, however. Finally, the call connects, and Professor Andrews' voice echoes up from the receiver.
Professor Andrew?
To being dumb! There are people upstairs, aren't there? The weekend staff or some volunteer? There should be. Even if it is a Saturday and I'm only here on a special permit, there should be at least one other person manning this place. I heard them a while ago. Of course, I couldn't possibly tell them about this. They won't believe me in the same manner we didn't buy Isabella's story until it's too late. But I can easily come up with an excuse. For now, what's important is that I don't end up trapped and alone with her.
Safety in numbers, as they say.
Yes. There's no hesitation in my steps as I race upstairs, ears straining for any signs or sounds of the woman appearing, jumping at me again at any second. I can still hear her behind me, the grinding of bones, her whispers, as she keeps calling me back. Although it's at a distance, I don't slow my pace. Library rules be damned. Because no matter how much I prefer to be brave, the level-headed one, or the tough one, this terrifies me. This scares me more than anything. Yeah, no kidding. This isn't how I plan to die. When I get to the 3rd floor... No one. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Only silence welcomes me at the emptiness that stretches out far too wide, spanning the entirety of the floor for it to be reassuring. And just behind me, somewhere at the foot of the stairs... Panic rises up my throat. Another way about it, but up. So I bolt. Desperation kicking in without warning. I take 2 steps at a time, tripping clumsily over some of it as my last-ditch attempt to escape. But I know. At the back of my mind, I know. I know all of this is futile. With every footfall, every ragged breath, every pounding of my heart, it gets hammered into my head. This only becomes clear once the door at the end opens, revealing the vast expansion of Luxborn's easily early morning skyline, and with her treading at my heels, blocking my only way out.
Stay away from me!
A useless plea. Does she even understand a word I say? Can she even? Is she still human in the first place? Somehow I doubt it. Because no human being will ever do this. Simply imagining what she's capable of doing to us. I never want to give her that chance.
I'm telling you to back off!
Her gait is slow as she walks forward, each stride accompanied by the sound of breaking bones, of blood oozing from wounds that never found healing. With every inch she draws nearer, and even as I pull away to take back what little distance I can between us, the smile on her merely grows wider, a mocking gesture. For me. She may be less of a human now, but I'm pretty sure she's fully aware she's got me cornered. She wouldn't even bother making it here if she isn't. But I can't look away. I can't bring myself to. Even at the heel of my shoe eventually hits the edge. The end of the line. Trapped. Alone. So, this is how it ends, huh? Quietly and without fanfare, surrounded not by the warm breeze, but a chilly morning air. No soft footfalls on the empty hallway, but the din of the early morning traffic below. No warm afternoon light. Nothing but the cold, pungent smell of death, all underneath a dreary morning sky. How fitting. Yet amidst all of it, there's a single voice I want to hear. This is heartbreaking. If only for one last time.
Becca?
Oh, God.
Hey, did I wake you up?
No, I left you a voicemail, so I thought... Where are you?
The one I grew up with. Who always got grades better than I did without even trying. Whose silly antics I have put up with all these years. Who stood by me even when things got tougher. That one person who's been a constant in my life.
Ash, do you remember that one time?
The... what?
Back in secondary. We joined a contest back then, didn't we? We had to dress you up as a girl and...
Oh my God, really? I'm sorry, that's ruining the mood, but seriously, I want to see an image of that.
No.
What? You looked really pretty. I think I still have that picture somewhere.
Burn it. We're not talking about that again. You promised. Seriously, what brought this on?
Nothing. It's just the first thing I remembered.
So weird. Despite everything, my lips curl into a smile. Faint. A sad little thing on its own, given the situation. Because even at the very end, I know I have this. The casual talk, the friendly banter, talking like how we always would as children. If only I haven't been too selfish. If only I haven't taken all of this for granted in favor of my feelings. Then perhaps I won't be regretting anything now.
You're being weird today, Becca. Whatever. Listen, I need you to go home right away. I'm at Salem Well right now and...
I wish time would simply stop for us. There are still a lot of things I want to say. Things I've never bothered saying aloud. Things I should have said a long time ago to someone who is always been by my side. But in this moment, there's only one.
Thanks, Ash.
One thing's constant.
Hold on, did I do something?
For everything.
Rebecca, what?
I'm so glad to have known you.
Wait, what are you? God damn it, Rebecca, where are you?
Soft click. I'm gonna hate this. Oh, that makes me so sad. Trapped and with nowhere else to go, Rebecca called the one person who always had a special place in her heart. All to say thank you, if only for the last time. Now, of course, we're gonna make sure she does stay alive, but this still hurts. Oh, God. And I'm closing my eyes. There's a rush of air. The sound of the world dimming around me. Like a song coming to its inevitable end. Oh, fuck.
Falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Oh. Oh! What the fuck? So wait, she beat her fiance? And they killed the cat, what the fuck? That was Rebecca's. Man. Shit. It's gonna be a bit difficult to edit because there were some parts I wasn't sure if I could skip through it or not, because it does say it does stop you on points when you've uncovered new dialogue and things like that, but still. Holy shit, okay. That one thing though with the memory fragment is still kinda... And again, the whole thing with Luke as well is a bit of a conundrum to me. I don't know, it's just because, like, he is becoming a horrible person now in this version, but I'm still conflicted about it, considering what we know. So, I guess we won't really know until later on. But, yeah, well. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it here. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. I may or may not have to cut it in half. I don't think I will, but, yeah. Oh. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful night, day, week, whenever. And I'll see you all next time. Okay? Bye, guys!